Hi, my name is Kevin, and I collect old irons. And I have a really interesting topic today, something that I think is perhaps the least well known of the truly important historical devices that were used to press fabric. Those would be the box mangles. A mangle is some device that uses for the most part, a wooden roller. The roller be wrapped in fabric, and we have seen in video 41 that these were in Scandinavian countries rolled with a mangle board. But there were a lot of other larger devices to be used on a grand scale and sometimes used industrially. These were often enough used that the word mangle is part of our vocabulary, usually meaning something that's been destroyed by being squashed flat. Throughout Europe and in museums in England and occasionally in the US as well, there are examples of mangling machines, or what I often call cranked mangles. Here are pictures of some examples. These were quite large and heavy and seldom sought by iron collectors because they are so dang big. I have recently posted a short video on one of these. That'd be KTI short number 64. In the 20th and continuing into the 21st century, these are electrified and could reach enormous sizes. These are still used today in industrial operations. In the days of cotton sheets, if you were sophisticated enough to want to sleep between sheets, you had to iron those sheets. So there was need for a device that could iron many sheets at a time. But the above examples mentioned in this presentation are not the topic for this video. Here we are talking about the box mangles. These were once quite common, especially in Europe. I would guess that from the 1600s to the 1900s, in many small towns you would find one or several. In a city, probably every fair-sized motel would have one. This drawing comes from 1794, and here are a couple of more examples, both from the 19th century. This one is from a museum in South Africa, and here is another from an auction listing in England. I have an example that was recently given to me by Herma in our visit to Holland, and this is probably a toy, and from the 1800s, judging by the wood. What it consists of is I have a box, here's a lid, and this box would be filled with either rocks or maybe stone. Sometimes you hear the word rock mangles or stone mangles. And these are on top of two, and oftentimes there is a third roller. And I'll pull this one out for now. And this would be pulled back and forth. Each roller would have a lot of sheets, for example, wrapped up in these, and this would be pulled back and forth. Very easily could press the entire group of sheets, and then we could take this out and put another one in, also with lots of sheets on it, and continue the process. As you might know from previous videos, we have recently visited Teo in Ontario, and Teo has, besides a bunch of these smaller versions, he has two complete versions from the 1800s, and he's going to show us how they work. The first of these is from 1930, and the second is dated 1879.
Hi, I'm here and we'll try to demonstrate a rock mangle. Okay, so for starters, this is a mangle cloth. Okay, and the mangle cloth gets rolled up on the roller, which I'll try to do. Okay, on this mangle cloth is where the actual material, what you want to mangle, gets rolled in. You can put in underwear, shirts, skirts, linen, anything you can put in here. Okay, now we will take this to the mangle. Okay, here we go. safety gate up. Take it on a roller.
Theo, how heavy is that altogether?
It's about 1 ton of stones in the bucket.
And the whole machine itself is another
The whole
several
machine,
hundred.
yes. And here it is, all ironed.
Beautiful.
So here we have another type of rock mangle. This one is from Germany and is dated 1879. It's also a rock mangle, and you can see the rocks on top of the bucket. So I'll give a demonstration. So the roll is ahead, roll it back, you can lift it up. Okay, you need to put the brake on there. Take the roller out, you can put the roller, fill it with the cloth mangle and some washing material, put the roller back, take the brake off, all done.
Yes, pressing a whole lot of sheets for a hotel, for a town, for a tailor or a linen shop took a lot of work and took gargantuanly large devices. But these devices, being once very common and mundane, were not preserved. You do see these occasionally in museums. I think museums that have a lot of housewares might have something in storage without necessarily something on display because of the amount of room that these take. And outside of Teo, private collectors don't have room for these, and so they consequently do not get preserved. By and large, all the many of these that were scattered throughout Europe at one time were probably scrapped in place or destroyed when the building was destroyed. But I think this might be a clue of how important these things were. In my travels through Europe and Canada, I've only seen 3 full-size mangles. They're not very common, but I've seen maybe a couple of dozen of these toys. Collectors in Europe tend to have these, tend to have more of these than they know what to do with. And that is a suggestion of how significant these were. In the 1800s, 1900s, a family with 8 or 10 children might get one of these as an investment, as a suggestion to one of their children that this might be an occupation. I mean, all these kids are going to have to find their way, and the people who did these had thriving businesses, made some money, supported their families, might even have based on starting with one of these, built a motel or some other business associated with that. These were important. I thank Theo and Irma and many other people I've met in Europe for contributing to my knowledge about these. And I also thank you for continuing to watch these videos and encouraging me to do more of them. As always, please subscribe, give me a thumbs up, and send me your emails.